Before we get into today's video, I just need to remind everyone I'm not a financial advisor. You must do your own due diligence. Please take today's video as entertainment only.
No such thing as debate. Now it's like, so I've begun.
What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope you are all well. It's really sunny in this room, so apologies for the darkness on my face. It just seems to be whatever way the camera's picking it up. I do have a light in front of me as well, but I'm still quite dark looking but anyway, forgive me. Today's video is another YouTube's video. I do a Twitter poll every week. Last week we had a joint winner, so I did my video yesterday on Kibo Energy, which turned out to be a bit of a didn't see anything interesting in that. Go in and have a watch of the video, but I didn't see anything worth investing in. We're going to check out today's second joint winner in Blackstone Resources. Again, we'll look into what the company is about, see what kind of their niche is, see how the share price is doing, have a look at the financials, and just see, is this something that would also fit my portfolio? Is it something worth investing in? But before we get into it, can you please like, please subscribe, grow on the channel, all that good stuff, guys. Really helps me out. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. So Blackstone Resources is actually based in Switzerland. The headquarters is there, and I believe this is my first Swiss stock that I've covered, so excited. And I'm even more excited because as soon as you jump on to their website, the first thing you see is our battery technology will ensure a sustainable, clean energy world. So guys, if you are new to my channel, I love renewable energy, environmental stuff, doing good for your children, all of that. As a quantity surveyor on a daily basis, I'm looking into life cycle cost of buildings, and I kind of know what kind of infrastructure we're talking about. I know that all the government buildings are very much all about sustainable energy, the life cycle cost, solar panels, all this. That is going to be the way the future is. That's the way the government agenda is. You're seeing it on the bigger news. Biden in the UK, Boris Johnson, pledging that by 2030 we will reduce carbon. We've been talking about this for the last 20 years about renewable energy. I really do believe that is going to be a serious push, and 2030 is a realistic target. So with that in mind, all my stocks are a 5, 10, 15, 20 year hold. And I believe getting in now at these early prices is what it's all about, and you've just got to ride the hard times. And Jesus, I know all about the hard times. I'm not going to talk too much about clean energy and the importance and blah blah blah. I trust that everybody kind of knows all of that. So I'm just going to talk specifically about Blackstone and what they do. So if we scroll down here, battery technology. Since early 2019, Blackstone Resources has invested heavily in researching and developing the next generation of battery technology. The company has patented 3D printing techniques to produce batteries in a variety of different form factors. The company has also conducted research in the mass production of solid-state batteries, which can offer a significant increase in energy density and high number of charging cycles. So futures increasingly. So we're talking about electric, we're talking about their investment. 2019, wouldn't say that means that they've done a lot of R&D. 2 years, you're not going to get too far in 2 years. I'd like to get a wee bit of a better understanding of exactly the level of investment that's went into the R&D. In November 2020, Blackstone Research opened its first production facilities in which the next generation of batteries for industrial applications as well as electric vehicles will be mass produced. The opening of this production facility represents a major milestone in the company and brings closer to realizing its vision. The first scaling up in the installed systems will offer a production capacity of 0.5 kilowatts per year, but this is just the beginning. The area of extension inside these facilities is already available for Blackstone to use. So that's good, new big site, happy days. Also, I like the sound of this. The promising technology is the 3D printing techniques of the production of lithium-ion batteries that use printed battery electrodes and solid-state battery technology. That sounds very interesting in that space. 3D printed batteries, this is a unique and patent technology that can be used to produce both liquid electrolyte batteries and solid-state batteries. The technology offers the potential to double the energy density and half manufacturing costs on current lithium-ion batteries. 3D printing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, no doubt about it. So this is an interesting sort of play almost. I like this uniqueness of 3D printing. We've talked about the demand shortage of semiconductors, not that that's linked to this, but we've talked about the battery shortage, we've talked about the mining. To be able to potentially just 3D print a battery definitely could, it says it there, operational cost by 30%. Yeah, that's that. If it's feasible, it makes sense that it would definitely cut down production times, no doubt about it. Some of the weaknesses that current state-of-the-art battery cell production suffer from: not being flexible to support the component design, it remains too expensive, it's not applicable for future designs, the energy density offered remains too low, supply of raw materials remains unsecure, CO2 footprint is too high. If this is feasible, yes to all of that, I can buy into that. to talk more about what they do, and you know, the 25% reduction of energy consumption, that's going to be key as well, because we talked about it in my Argo blockchain video that I put out yesterday as well, that you know, there is a high demand for energy. That's definitely going to go forward, and especially if we move to green energy, it's going to be hard to pretty much energize the whole world on green energy. So you're not only going to have to try and do that, but if you can also reduce the use of energy as well on heavy consumption things, that's only going to help. So if we go to this sustainability tab, you can read into more about what they're trying to do here, and they talk about wind turbines and so on and so forth. But I like that they're really emphasizing sustainability, you know, doing their bit for the environment, their responsibility that they must do. Really, really like that social side of things. Talking about long holds, guys, our vision is to help make sustainable clean energy world. It is already estimated that this type of energy could help cut 70% of global carbon emissions by 2050. You know, so I'm going to be even more grey by 2050, guys. So it is a long hold. They've also got this presentation that I would advise everybody to go and have a look at. I'm just going to pick out tiny snippets, but it's actually a nice presentation. Definitely go on and have a read at. Although the company's headquarters in Switzerland, the actual new facility is in Germany, guys, which is kind of seen as like the central hub of Europe. Okay, you've got Tesla's new factory opening there, and that's sort of as seen as logistic, sort of the best place to get traveling. So that's shrewd. Nice little chart here: portfolio of interest, cash flow, assets, how we'll pay for our vision, the production in Peru, gold, silver, trade, and they sort of talk about the issues there, you know, size, risk, and all that, and then what they really want to do to be able to achieve their goals. So they've kind of got, this is our funding, if you want to call it that, and this is how we're going to achieve it. And this is this 3D printing that they're talking about, and the exploration, and they're, you know, advising that it's a long hold and it's high risk. This is their assets, so they're everywhere, guys. Their head offices in Switzerland, Germany, Canada, Colombia, Peru, Chile. So we've talked about all the south of America and how prosperous that is for the likes of your raw materials. Mongolia, Indonesia, Norway, you know, it's a big operation. Then they go into talking more about the exploration of lithium. I'm not going to go into too much about all of that. You can go through and have a read of that yourself. But they've got several good sites, and it seems some are in early concept stage, some are further on. But it all has a timeline that you'll be able to monitor and make sure that they're hitting those targets. If we go down here for the goal for 2020, they talk about getting their new battery reduction, the construction of the production site in Germany, which they have done. So they've hit that goal. They started lithium productions, but this year, cobalt production in Canada. First cobalt with Glencore. Glencore, talked about in previous videos, huge in this space, guys. Having to deal with them, to me, you know, just reeks of credibility. Have you ever heard of Reuters? Of course you have, the biggest financial news outlet in the world, and I've been fortunate enough to have done 2 articles with them. If you go down to the description below, you can click the links and have a read at those articles. Also, while you're down there, you will find a link to Free Trade, where you and I both get a share up to £200 by just clicking the link, guys. If you're thinking about getting a bit more diversity, thinking about opening up a new broker, try Free Trade and see what happens with that. Also, guys, this week's You Choose video is now live. The poll is on Twitter. Get on, cast your vote for next week's video of your choice. And while you're on Twitter, you might as well also give me a follow. Just like Instagram, you can follow me there as well on BHSDMV. Social medias, how active are they on that? If we have a look here, we can see. So they joined it in 2018. They're not that active on it, unfortunately. So sort of March, oh Jesus, 2 years ago now, like really. So, but that's okay. It doesn't mean anything. You know, it's just something that I like from an investor point of view, just to see, you know, that they're keeping on top of things. So it only goes back as far as 2018, but the company originally was formed in 1995. We can see here, it has, when it came onto the market, it was up and in around 13.5. It's been on a downward trajectory. It's a startup, guys. Yes, it started in 1985, but this company will have just constantly, haven't looked at the financials yet, but I would imagine that this company, like all the rest of them, is investing. You can see what they've done. They've spent a lot of money even on the batteries and how they're going to fund all that. So it's probably had dilutions of shares and all that kind of thing, and many different types of funding. So, you know, some people look at that and step away, and I understand that, but this is what, to me, is the fun, is trying to pick a winner out of all this. So the year to date, in the last year, it was trading, God, wouldn't it be nice to got in a 75 cents bargain, and then it went, started going up in sort of July time, and then it's been on a real upward trajectory till about November. And then it just started pulling back, and it has started to really sink. Went back down, and it sort of went along nicely, and then it started getting a wee bit of excitement around January. Now, these types of stocks, clean energy got a bit of a horn because of the whole Biden stuff that came out at the end of January, so maybe we're seeing a wee bit of that there. 21st started to cool off, and you can see the year to date kind of going sideways. We've just dipped down to here. It's really fell down the last 5 days. It just dropped. So this is today. So it's fell down again, guys. You know, down as low as 3.5. Swiss francs, by the way, not dollars. Like I said, dollars. Swiss francs. 1 Swiss franc is about 78 pennies. Okay, so if we jump on to simply Wall Street, it's not the worst for this type of stock. It's really not. You know, it's passed 3 out of the 6 analyst checks. It became profitable this year. 36.5 historical annual growth. Not bad at all, guys. Very nice. I like also that the management don't appear to be overindulging in paying their wages, which is pretty good. If you go down to the top shareholders, you can see here that the top shareholder is 65%, is the actual director and chairman, which is good. They believe in what they're doing. They are invested in this big stake. That's what you want to see. You want companies that are pretty much owned by the chairman or CEO or founded by them, because it means more. There's more passion involved, and they're committed to it. And you can even see here the Credit Suisse as asset management Switzerland, 21.1%. On the 31st of March, they increased their position. You've got BlackRock in there, so they've got good foundations there, good people helping them out. And you can see here, 1995, as I said, market cap of about 175 Swedish francs. There's corporate literature, there's all these different types of things. The financial reports are here, they've issued the half year, and you can go in and have a look through the reporting. As the Simply Wall Street brought up there, they have made profits this year for the very first time, so it's an interesting space. And this is a major recent article that I think is worth bringing up. Blackstone's major milestone in 3D printing solid state batteries. Okay, so we talked about them doing it, how far are they down, R&D, all that jazz. But look, we have this on April the 12th. Blackstone Resources AG is pleased to announce that it has passed a series of important milestones for its proprietary 3D printing production technology. These milestones are focused on printing solid-state batteries, representing a significant breakthrough for the next generation technology. The company can proudly announce that it has successfully printed and tested its first working solid-state battery cell. The picture below shows an LED light that is being powered by Blackstone's solid-state cell. This marks the successful completion of research and evaluating stage of the 3D printing process as a new flexible method for producing all kinds of printed solid-state lithium-ion batteries. They talk about the points that they've hit, the 3 main things that they have achieved, but the main thing down here is the production process offers the potential to save 70%. Blackstone now has technology and results that will be a game changer for the entire battery industry. That probably explains the recent throbs. This news sounds great. I'm going to do a lot of due diligence, but this company sounds like it's an absolute treat. I'm nearly putting this at the top of all the mining sort of battery plays that we've got, baby. Alright guys, we're going to wrap up the video here. I've had a quick look at the company. I'm liking, at a high level, their finances. Profitable for the first time. I'm loving what they're talking about proposing. I love that niche, 3D printing of batteries. That sounds brilliant. What I'm going to do personally is I'm going to probably invest in these guys, but I want to do proper due diligence because I'm conscious that in some of the other ones that I've done videos on and I've looked into, I've kind of bought at the wrong time. And they've went downwards, and this to me looks like it's had real high peaks, and I'm just be afraid of catching it. So I'm going to do some technical analysis and see where the average price is, see when the best entry point is. You can see by the chart that we've shown there that it's kind of just went sideways for a while, but it looks like it's slipping below, so we need to see how today finishes up. But I'm very interested in it. I want to do more due diligence into the actual sector and how 3D printing could be achieved, because they're pinning their hopes on that. The exploration is what it is, R&D, and you know, they've done feasibility studies there. It seems to be that is fine, and that's where they're making their money. So I'm okay with that side of things. It definitely looks to be a good solid foundation of a stock. I love that the chairman is 65% owner. Brilliant. He is invested deep. That gives me a level of security as well. So this is a good one. Thanks to the people that voted for this one. I really am interested. I'm going to do a bit more due diligence. And don't be surprised that I do another video on Blackstone Resources. I'm going to add these to my portfolio in some shape or form. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the best entry point. Please leave your comments below. What's your thoughts on Blackstone Resources? Is there anything that I'm missing? Like I said, you've seen a 10-minute video clip. I've spent about an hour or so looking into it. Like, an hour to cover a company is never going to be enough. Hit me with anything I should be wary of, anything that I should be scared of, or is it just as at high level? Does it look as good as it seems? Very interested. Please like, please subscribe, grow on the channel, all that good stuff. Yeah. Thanks again. Get voting for the next week's video, and until next time.
Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.